Have you been considering becoming a real estate investor? Are you looking to buy a deal, a distressed property that you can buy, rehab, and then resell for a profit? Well, this video is going to be all about how you walk around that property, evaluate it, and make sure that all your numbers are in order before you make that purchase. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Empire Your Life, and we are actually on location today at a distressed property. And so we're gonna go inside and take a look, and if you've been wondering maybe how can you start to evaluate properties for yourself, have you been thinking about how you can become a real estate investor? Well, this video is gonna show you how to walk through a property and evaluate that deal so that way you can make the best decision possible when it comes to deciding if you should buy or if you should pass. All right, so we're out here looking at a property that is roughly about 2,500 square feet. And we have 4 bedrooms, about 2.5 baths, and this house is actually not too bad a shape. So, but it is super outdated. And so this particular property is gonna be more of a, what we call a cosmetic rehab, where we're gonna go in and have to change out the floors, put some fresh paint, update the trim, the crown molding, some new doors, like some hollow core doors. And so we're gonna be going in and making all these sorts of changes. The kitchen is going to need a full upgrade with new cabinets, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. And so before we go inside and take a look, let's take a quick look at the outside of this property and see what's needed on the exterior. And so as we're walking up to the property, you can see that it's a little dated, and some of the wood is actually weathered, and so a lot of that's going to have to be replaced and painted and caulked. And also to note that the front of this house is set up perfectly to put a courtyard in the front, where you have a welcoming area for all of your guests and your family to come in. And this courtyard also serves to make great curb appeal as people are first pulling up to the house. And so for resale, this makes a huge difference. Now, one thing you'll notice about this particular house is the fact that this big tree is very close to the foundation of the home. Now, what you're gonna see with these large trees is that it typically, as it continues to grow, the roots underneath are also growing underneath that foundation, which are gonna push the slab up, causing cracks in the foundation and also the brick that you see on the outside of the home here. Now, on this particular home, as we looked a little closer, we're not seeing any signs of cracking just yet, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen at some time in the future. And so whether we're gonna flip this house or if we kept it as a rental property, this tree will need to come out sooner than later. Now, as we mentioned, some of the wood is gonna be weathered on this particular property, where it may need to be replaced, but especially will need to be caulked and repainted. Now, paint will serve as a barrier to protect it from weather as time goes on. And so a fresh coat of paint on wood every couple of years will go a long way, especially in these areas of the fascia and soffit, where you can see there's a lot of peeling going on, which some of these areas can simply be fixed by sanding and repainting. As we go around the house, another big expensive component of any rehab is going to be the AC unit. So you want to make sure and check the age of the unit, and definitely check to see if it's in working order or not. And if not, budget for a new unit both inside and outside. The backyard on this particular property has a lot of space, but we also notice that there's a lot of concrete here. So one thing we may consider is removing some of this concrete so we can have more grass for kids and family to play in their backyard. And as we look around the back of this particular house, it actually has the garage where it wraps around the back side, which is a different style, but it does allow for more privacy for your cars, your vehicles, or even parking boats back here. One big thing that you can always do on the exterior of a home to make it look a whole lot better is simply pressure washing. A very cheap and inexpensive fix, but makes the home shine, look good, and very presentable for sale. Another huge expense that you don't want to forget about is make sure you check the roof. You can ask the seller to try and get a rough age of what the roof might be, which may tell you how much life you have left before you have to worry about changing it. And in this particular case, our roof only looks a few years old, and it is an architectural style, which means we may get up to 30 years. Now, let's go inside and take a look at the inside of the home. You can see that we have a nice brick walkway here that simply needs some pressure washing. Some more wood siding that's going to need to be caulked, painted, and that way it's resealed and protected from the weather. And then we turn to the inside of the home. All right, so at first glance, walking into this home, it is not my favorite thing to see a staircase. So especially when it's right in the middle of the house here, it's really blocking your view and your openness of the entire house. So there's really not much we can do in this case as far as moving the staircase, because it would be extremely costly. And for this particular neighborhood, this particular area, we just wouldn't get that money back out. But we can still dress up this staircase as much as possible to make it look updated and to have a great feeling and a welcoming entryway as you're stepping into this home. And for starters, we need to get rid of this wallpaper. We need to actually remove that wallpaper and go back and float, texture the walls, and repaint the same color theme throughout this home. Or we may choose to do some highlight walls, especially on this particular staircase. Now, another note also is with these stair rails, we can go back with an aluminum black stair rail that will give more of an open, updated feeling. And you can also look at the carpet going up the steps here, which a very updated look would be simply to go back with some wood planks, which are very inexpensive, but give a great look. Now, also looking at the floors, you can see that they have an old school tile floor that we hope is not asbestos. We'll need to get tested to see further. So you always want to make sure that if you do have asbestos tile or any other product, that you get it tested, and that way you can get it removed properly and safely so no one's harmed or the environment's not harmed as well. Walking into this next room here, and there's no lights in here, so it's kind of hard to see, but looking in this room here, we have paneling that goes throughout this entire room. So in this particular room, paneling gives a very dated look. And so what we want to do here is actually remove that paneling, and so that way we can replace it with sheetrock and float and texture as well, so it matches the rest of the home and looks updated. Next, let's move into the kitchen area, where you can see that this wall here would be a good idea to be removed if it's not load bearing, to where we can actually open up this entire space, and it'll give you the feeling of a bigger kitchen and also a bigger room in this area. So now, as we step into this kitchen, you can see that there's really not a lot of damage here, but the cabinets, the countertops, especially the appliances, are very outdated. And so we're gonna spend some money in this kitchen. Just right off the top of my head, we're looking at probably about 10 to 15,000 for some really good cabinets, appliances, countertops, backsplash, hardware, you name it. And by the time we get done with this kitchen, it's going to be very updated. And when a homeowner walks in here, a potential buyer walks in to look at this property, it is going to blow them away. And this is going to be one of the major sale features of this house. Leaving the kitchen and going into this small dining room area, you can see that the walls are pink, the carpet is pink, it is just pink overload and makes it look very, very outdated. And so this particular room, just with a fresh coat of paint, maybe a gray theme like we've used in a lot of our houses, going with more of a wood floor or a laminate floor that kind of offsets the gray tone in the walls, putting some nice white baseboard and some white crown around the top where the border is at the top there, is going to make this room look so much different. As we continue through this house, you can see that there's more pink walls throughout that'll need to be painted to give an updated look, and also this carpet will need to be replaced with some laminate or some hardwood floors to give a very nice, updated, and welcoming feeling. As we continue on this house tour, you can see that some of this tile continues down the hallway, which would need to be removed, and whatever hardwood or laminate we choose to go with would go throughout this entire hallway and even into the master bedroom. So going into the master bedroom, this area here, we would actually continue with the laminate or real wood floors throughout the master to give that connected look and updated look to the rest of the house. But you can see that this master bedroom has a lot of great size and a lot of great potential. And with any master bedroom comes a master ensuite. So here you have a 3-piece washroom that just needs to be updated to match the rest of the house, but it's not a bad size. So when it comes to master bedrooms, closets are also very, very important. And so you can see in this particular home, we actually have one deeper closet, which would be considered a closet for her. And then we do have more of a shallow, small closet here that would be considered his. Continuing our tour, we're going into 2 smaller bedrooms. And these 2 bedrooms here, we would just go back with a neutral carpet instead of the laminate in these spaces here to break up the wooden laminate flooring and also to give a cozy feeling in these small bedrooms, which ideally would be used for smaller children or maybe guest rooms. And in this particular room here, we would also be removing all of that shelving, which we would have to patch the walls, retexture, and paint. You can also see in these bedrooms where we have some old school fixtures that would need to be replaced, and we would go back usually with a small ceiling fan with more of a brushed nickel look, giving it a modern feel. When it comes to updating a home, make sure you budget well to make the bathrooms look as nice as possible with new cabinets, new countertops, undermount sinks, tile shower surrounds, which in this case, the white small 4x4 tiles in here can actually be saved because that style is coming back. But that wallpaper, just like a lot of other areas of the house, must go. And I know there are a lot of different people in a lot of different areas watching this video. And so for this particular house, $35,000 to $40,000 would go such a long way. And the resale value on this property, we're looking around the $215,000 to $220,000 range that we can hit the market and get this property sold quick. Thanks for watching this video, and if you're ready to take your business to the next level, hit that subscribe button below and become a part of the Empire Your Life community. And if you see the videos over to the side here, they're exactly what you need to see next. Get out there and build your empire.